Hello guys, so we're back for another video. So this next assignment is the shape stack, right? So this assignment is asking you to draw a shape or to put shapes into stacks, and from the center of the Canva, right? So what you do is, and for you to be able to do this, you have to know functions. This is a lesson in functions. You have to also be familiar with the naming guidelines. You should be familiar with the comments because they will help. You should be familiar with using angles, right? How Tracy should be able to turn left or right with a certain angle, and to be able to identify what a right angle, what a half a right angle, 45 degrees, 60 degrees, 30 degrees, like the difference between those, and to see exactly how actually maybe those advanced angles maybe may not apply for this specific exercise, but the modified version, right, that I will go over after this video. Also, loops will help a lot if you know, and it will simplify what you're doing, right? And all the other Tracy moves. Okay, so first, as usual, we will start with our speed, right? So when we start, we don't even think, we just go ahead and start speed. So I usually like to start with the speed of 5 while I just try to get into it. The next thing we want to know is to set position, right? Set position, because as you can see, set position. As you can see, Tracy needs to start from the bottom. So Tracy's default state is to be in the middle here at position 0, 0, but we want to move it to the bottom and then start build our shape up, right? So set position, I mean, since this is the middle, so the x axis will be at 0, and maybe y, we're going to just put all the way to the bottom, which is negative 200, right? If you need a refresher for the positions, you could just refer to this document here. You just scroll down all the way right here, so this will refresh you. So I picked this position right here, which is the center of the Canva, right? The Tracy's world, as they call it. Okay. Now, one thing about set position, when you run set position, okay, what will happen is, okay, speed is not defined. Oh, okay, so I guess we are not allowed to use speed yet, I guess. Or maybe is it because I put uppercase? All right, because all right, that was just because I used uppercase. Sorry about that. All right, so when you do set position, obviously Tracy will draw the line from the initial position to whatever position. So you always want to do pin up, right, before set position, right? So now that Tracy is at the bottom, what we will do, obviously, we're gonna start our shapes. So the first shape that we see here is a square, right? Is a square, and you know, as a matter of fact, yeah, I mean, is a square. Okay, so let's just start with drawing a square. Okay, so how do you draw a square? What you do, you just go forward. And what's the size of the square for this assignment? The shapes have a height and width of 50 pixels, right? So I'm gonna move forward 50 pixels. all right, and then after that we go left, okay, 90 degrees, okay, and then if we do this 4 times, if we do this 4 times, we will have, we should have a square, okay. Now let's run it, and okay, it's blank. Why is it blank? Because we had set, pen up there. So what we want to do, we want to do pen down, okay, if we want to see what Tracy um, is drawing, okay. So let's separate this like that. So let's see if we have, all right, so we have our square, okay. So as you learn in loops, every time you have a block of code that you repeat over and over, what you could do, you could use a loop, okay? And if you remember, for the loop, you do for I in range, how many times you're looping 4 times because it's a square, okay? And then we have to indent, okay? We have to indent that block of code. So let me get rid of this here, okay? And let's see what happens. Okay, it does the same thing but just in less lines. Okay, we were doing this with 8 lines, now we're able to achieve the same thing with 3 lines. All right, so now if you pay attention here, you will see that this side is bigger than this side, so meaning that this square is not completely centered. Okay, it's not completely centered. So to get this to the center, we will just move, we will start from half of the amount that we move forward. Okay, so right after you set the position, what we want to do is we could just move backward. Okay, half of the amount of the square, which will be 50 divided by 2, will be 25. Okay, so I made sure I just put it before the pen down, so that way it was not going to draw anything. So it's going to move. All right, so now we have it centered, so this amount here and this amount is the same. All right, so right after this, what we want to do, maybe you want to move to the middle. Okay, maybe you want to move forward in the middle. All right, forward 25, we're just moving half. We want to turn left 90. Okay, let's see what happens here. Okay, all right there. So then we want to move forward. Okay, we want to move forward 50. Okay, and then we want to turn right. I'm just getting set up to 90, get set up to do the circle. Okay, so let's see what happens. Let's see what did we do here. Right there. All right. Now why did I have to turn? Because when you're drawing a circle, you always, like Tracy right now is going to draw from this side and go like this. Okay, here. So it's going to draw from this side and go like this. Okay, now if I did not turn right, okay, if I didn't turn right, the circle would have been bad. All right, also the line, obviously when you move forward here, we need to do pen up. So what we want to do is, you know what, we could just do pen up all of this because you don't need to see any of this here. Forward. Okay, so pen up. So every time you're trying to move your the turtle into position, just do pen up, and once you're done, you could do pen down again. Right, pen down. Okay, and then we're gonna do our circle. Okay, now the reason I just put in space is to just make it more readable for you guys, just to help you navigate or understand my code Okay, now once I'm done and you understand, I could just get rid of all these lines, but I like to separate different items, and this is a good place to put comments and explain what you're doing. Okay, so say, and okay, and it's right there. All right, so from this point now, I'm going to make a circle. Okay, it's telling me my circle needs radius inside. So how much radius am I going to put? Okay, they said 50, they said 50. Okay, let's see with 50. I mean, I know that 50 is the wrong one, but I just want to show you something. So here, and then go up, and then see. Now if you look at the shape, is way bigger than this square here. Okay, so this circle cannot fit in the square, so for it to fit, it has to be smaller. Okay, so the radius is too big. We need half of the radius that we use. Okay, so we just need the radius to be from here to here, which is half, which is 25. Okay, don't be afraid to trying different things and see how your code behaves, because this is how you learn. This is how you learn. Okay, you break things, you try things, and this is why we have this visual interface, this visual website, so you could know exactly what's happening. So now we have our um, circle. Okay, now we need to move into position again around here. Okay, so we could start for our next square. Okay, every time you're moving into position, you do pen up, right? And we want to turn left 90 degrees. All right, we want to move forward. Okay, move forward 50. Right, we want to um, move forward 50. We want to turn right 90. Right, and then we want to go backward um, 25. Okay, so Tracy is going to move, and we're going to turn left here. All right, I'll show you. Oh, oops. Okay, it's gonna do everything. All right, just meant to comment this so we could see step by step what Tracy is doing. So it turns, right? Then it's going to move up. Okay, so this is why I have this move forward here. Okay, and then it's going to turn right at this time. All right, okay, and then I'm just going to go backward here and then start my whole square. Right, that's why I have this backward half, so backward 25. Okay, so right there. Okay, right there. Okay, so now once you in this position here, if you remember earlier, we went backwards 25 at some point right there. So now we're going backwards here again. That means now from now we are going to repeat this block of code again. Okay, so let me see if I just copy this and paste it, Control V. Let's see what happens if that's going to. Okay, see, oops, oh, so that means this block of code, if I repeat it over and over, I will be able to achieve this um, this shape here, right? So let me do Control Z, okay, and instead of this whole um, repeating this whole thing here, I could just create a loop. Remember, every time you create the same shape or the same actions over and over, you could have a loop. That's a good time to have a loop. All right, how many times do we want to repeat this? This is 1, 2, 3, 4 times. Okay, let's try 4 times. All right, let's do this, and let's see if we could, oops, see if we could indent all of this to make it part of the loop, and let's see what happens. Okay, let's see what happens. Okay. Oops. Okay, all right. Okay, it's going backward. Oh, okay, we have 2 backwards. Okay, we only need 1. We only need 1. So let me remove this one here. Uh, and I like to comment things out before I delete them finally, just in case. So you're going backwards too many times. Okay, right there. Okay, 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 right there. So here um, we have our shape. Okay, now let me just do this. So 2 things we could do. We could have a function for different things, right? Because I think it was one of the requirements. Let's see, each shape should have you should center the stack in the middle of the canvas, right? The first shape in the bottom of the stack should be a square. See the image below, okay? Okay, to keep your code from getting cluttered, create 2 functions, one to draw a square and one to draw a circle. Okay, don't mind the naming rules. Okay, so let's do one for the square and one for the circle, right? So which one is doing the square, right? So to do the square, let's say this is what does the square right there. Okay, so I'm going to copy this, right, and go here, and just to put a function, you start with define def, let's write it draw square, okay, and I will paste what I just copied. Okay, so def draw square. So this whole block here will be draw square. So I'll just call draw square. Okay, now if you see, I'm not starting right off the gate by creating functions and getting complicated. No, I'm not doing that. I am completing my code normally, and I mean, unless I had to use, well, at least the first rendition of it, I make sure I do it plainly without making it complicated. Okay, like for example, do the, right off the gate, start with defining a square and then plugging, like that's just too much at this level. Okay, now more advanced coders, they could do that, but for you, just start simple, make the thing work first, and then replace whatever is a should be a function with their name. So let's run it again, see if we didn't make any mistakes here. Okay, so this whole code is running through. Okay, now that's good. So the draw square works. So now let's do another one for our draw circle. Okay, this is the name. So let's define the function draw circle, and what will draw circle do? So where our draw circle? So here we could take this as the draw circle. Our draw circle. Yeah. Okay. Our draw circle function right there. Good. Draw circle. Okay, now we go here and we paste it. Just Control V. Okay, so now we have draw square and we have draw circle right there. So let's try it again. And as you can see, I'm trying the code after each step. I'm not waiting to build the whole thing and try. No, every piece of code that I put in, I try it because if something happened that is unexpected or that an error, you could catch it right there. You don't wait until you have 1,000 mistakes to start to figure it out. That's going to be too much. But you could figure out mistakes one at a time. Okay, so we have a function here and we have a function here and we have our loop here. Okay, now another thing we could have done is and we will see it in the ShapeStack 2.0, the next exercise, where I will combine these two and make it and give it a function name, right? Because the other shapes are going to be, or the other assignments are going to be a little bit more complex, right? So let's see what happens here. Everything works. If everything works, I think we're good to go. We don't need to complicate it more. Okay, yeah, I mean, it works, it works. So let me remove the spacing. Okay, I always like to keep track of how many lines I'm doing, right? Mind you, all these move backward, and we could have set this as move to position or something that sort, right there. And let me remove this right there. Okay, I'm going to run it one more time, last time. Okay, all right there with the speed of 0. So now we have it. Let's check our code, and everything is fine, right? So we have 4 circles that have a radii of 25. We use looped and we use the function. Okay, so we are good to go. This is the ShapeStack 2.8.5. I hope the explanation makes sense. If you have any questions, just let me know. Okay, take care.